This sounds like a Curb story, but it happened in your real life.
What's that?
You, in the time since the last Curb season, you spent a night in jail. You got arrested.
Oh my God! What are you bringing that up for? I don't need that crap. What do you? Well, you know. All right. What are you doing to me? I spent a night in jail. Yes.
Okay.
Bring up a sad memory. Do you ever think a guy like me is gonna end up in jail? But here's the thing I'm gonna say to you.
Yeah.
Okay, I ended up in jail. It was a minor altercation.
Yeah.
And it really was. And I got put in jail because the woman had an expensive car. And when I went in her window and she was making fun of me for being fat.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Weird, right?
Yeah.
I don't have enough time to tell the story. This is what you do to me. You ask me a question. The entire segment. Do I have two segments tonight?
No, you don't have
I
two
know.
segments.
There's a novelist coming who maybe she'll write a book on my thing. Here's all I'm going to say to you, though.
Okay.
The reality is, I hit on someone's window and said, "Why did you do that?" You know,
Yeah.
it was a dumb Larry David move because she was yelling at me, and then I said, "Well, why'd you make fun of me for being fat?" It was the wrong time.
Yeah.
Anyhow, TMZ had me with a wrench busting windows and then leaping on her car and saying, "You better call the coppers," because
But that didn't happen. It was
No.
just this. You gave it a tap.
not a tap.
Okay.
I'm a strong man. I didn't realize that strong. And you know, like a window, it shattered, not on her, but like right there. And it was like, oh, when it happened, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's not what I wanted.
Did you know when it shattered? How fast did you process? I might go to jail.
Not at all.
Okay, you still
As a
thought you
matter
were
of
fine.
fact, I went into the store to get my prescription. By the way, bought some Twizzlers. I'm diabetic.
Oh, wow.
And came out, and she was still there screaming for the police, even though I gave her my information.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the cops arrested me because I said, "Why are you arresting me?" They said, "Well, if she was driving a Toyota Corolla, you would be fine. But it's a Mercedes S500, so we're arresting you for felony vandalism."
Because it was a certain
Yes.
cost.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say that is a stone cold criminal move to commit felony vandalism and then go buy Twizzlers. like the cops show up and you're just eating Twizzlers.
By the way, which only led to more anxiety, and I was more scared because I had a sugar high.
Yeah.
And it was like, you putting cookies in the room.
Right, I didn't
I'm
realize.
bound to get arrested tonight.
I have to ask, when you got to jail,
Yes.
were the arresting officers...
All right, here's the key thing. All right, I see where you're going down.
Well,
the
I'm
path.
not going
You
anywhere.
heard the story. So I get to the jail, and I'm not going to do like what's her name did. Do you know who I am? You know, type thing.
Yeah, of
Okay, or
course.
anyone does that.
No.
That's not me. I wish I had done it now, though. All right, so anyhow, I'm at the jail, and all I'm thinking is, please, one of the police officers know me. Know me. Oh, Jeff, what are you doing here? We'll put you over here. Maybe we'll get you a cookie.
Yeah, exactly.
None of the cops knew me. Every criminal knew me. If you were handcuffed, you were thrilled. Oh my God, what are you here for? I just got a little felony vandalism. What are you here for? Oh, just robbed a family. I love your work, when I'm not robbing people.
Did you, I'm not to obsess over the Twizzlers, but was that a situation where when you get there, they take it and put it in like one of those plastic things?
No. It was a big jumbo package. It was gone by the time they took it away. As I was standing there, I was just downing Twizzlers. There was no bag to put it away. My son's earache medicine, yes, they held that for me.
Okay, oh, that's very
when I
nice.
yes.
Oh
but-
my goodness, so you were going to get earache medicine for your son.
Yes, he had an ear infection. But they dropped the charges on the Monday. And I want to thank, by the way, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, because the next day after I was released, I was no longer on TMZ because Northwest was born.
Oh, perfect.
So some people may have problems with them. I have none. I am thrilled with them. I love them. And you know what else? Can I have 1 second?
Of course.
This is like serious. So they dropped the charges, but the city wanted to meet with me. So my lawyer said, go take some anger meet with for anger management.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have anger management. I found out I don't have anger management. What I found out, and it's not a joke, is that I have an ego problem because I had righteous indignation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why would she make fun of her being fat? It was over a parking space, so stupid. And I learned that ego does nothing for you. It's about being humble and being confident in who you are and what you do. But I learned a great lesson about ego and how it does me no good. And so I was saying I wish I had said something. I'm glad I didn't say, do you know who I am or anything, that I experienced this because, man, that ego thing, it's beautiful.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So it was, in the end, a positive.
Very positive.
That's great.
And I would go through it again to learn that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for telling that story. I really appreciate
Oh,
it. Sorry
sure.
for putting you on the spot.